Okay, let's see if it's working now. Let's see what we got. Okay, it's working. Okay, we're bet. All right, we're back, baby, with the lives. We're gonna get back on it, and it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna talk some boxing today. You guys know what's going on. You guys know it's nothing new. We hop on that grind. I'm gonna hop on the live for a little bit just because I finally have everything set up again. So let's talk a little bit about Ryan Garcia, and I'll wait for some more people to hop in. I don't want to just be talking to myself over here, so we'll wait a little bit. But a lot going on in the boxing world, guys. A lot is happening, and let's get into it. Let's talk boxing. Let's talk Ryan Garcia suspension. Yeah, it's weird. It's definitely something that is unfortunate. I feel like Ryan is very interesting. He's definitely a character, but of course, there's no room in the sport of boxing for the cheating. I'm not trying to say that Ryan Garcia definitely cheated, but he definitely needs to face some repercussions. I think that it wouldn't be too bad if he had some time to reflect and think about all the stuff that's been going on, everything he's been saying, observe the boxing world for a little bit, and then come back and maybe he has a little bit more of a level head. I like Ryan, but talking about the wives stuff, talking about being with Caleb Plant's wife, stuff like that, that stuff's a little bit. I cringe a little bit because it's like Caleb Plant's a cool dude, respected fighter in the sport of boxing. So you'd like to see a little bit more respect from Ryan Garcia, but it is what it is. I mean, Ryan Garcia is going to do what he wants no matter what we say. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Ryan. I know that the 1 year suspension is going to be in effect, but we'll see what happens in terms of, will it force him to, not fight until 1 year from the suspension, or is it 1 year from April 20th when obviously he upset Devin Haney, but obviously that was overturned. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It is a big mess right now in terms of Ryan Garcia and what's going to happen to him next. Honestly, I don't know what's going to happen to Ryan Garcia because it's a lot of chaos, a lot of evil versus good. There's a lot of, do I side with this guy? Is he the good guy? Is this guy the bad guy? So I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to make of it, but I know that, at some point we're going to see Ryan Garcia back in the ring, and I don't think anything's going to happen to his cult-like following. I feel like Ryan Garcia is just so popular to the point where, no matter what, people are going to continue to support Ryan, and that's just the way the sport of boxing is sometimes. They're just going to support whoever they're fans of, and that's normal. But we know that Ryan Garcia is popular. We know that he's always going to have that cult-like fan base to the point where everybody's watching every single move he's making. So it is what it is. No matter who you're siding with, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Ultimately, Ryan Garcia, he's going to continue to be a star. But, you got to feel for Devin Haney a little bit, just because it's a little sad that he has to deal with all this hate, because let's be real, Devin Haney is dealing with a lot of hate coming from, all the Ryan Garcia supporters are obviously giving, Devin Haney all that heat. They're not big fans of him right now, and I get it. But, at the same time, Devin Haney didn't do anything wrong himself. It shouldn't be a scenario where we're all hating on Devin because we like Ryan. That shouldn't really be the case. And my eye is hurting right now, but we roll, we keep it moving. But yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. There's no one's doubting that Ryan Garcia is a little bit on a crazy journey right now mentally. I don't know what's going on in his personal life, but for sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes that maybe we're not taking into account. So try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt when it comes to stuff like this, because it's unfortunate for Ryan Garcia to be receiving a ban, but obviously we don't want any cheating in the sport. But he's still making a lot of money. So at the end of the day, is he really losing? I don't know. It's more of his conscience and if he intentionally took it or not. So we'll see. But yeah, Ryan's back. What I say, all right, shout out to Mike Golden has joined the chat. He is saying what I say to Devin Haney is rematch Ryan Garcia and see what happens. Honest opinion, Ryan Garcia whoop his ass again this time around. I feel like Ryan Garcia will take training more serious. Yeah, I mean, very possible. It's very possible. People are forgetting the fact that there's a big risk in Devin Haney taking that rematch. You guys got to remember, if he goes in there and it's the same outcome, then obviously it looks really bad, especially if Ryan Garcia is clean in the rematch. So shout out to you, Mike, making a very good point. You know, I would like to see Ryan and Devin run it back, and I would really like to see Ryan and Devin, if he really wants to avenge that loss, he's going to have to do it in the ring. That's just the way boxing is. You can't just walk away and say, you know, he cheated, this and that, even though maybe he should be able to do that. It should be, you know, if a positive test comes out, maybe Devin should be able to say, no, I'm not fighting that guy again, but this is boxing. We need it back in blood. That's just the way the sport has been. You know, if you're going to avenge a loss, you got to do it in the ring. We don't want to see a disqualification win. We don't want to see a no contest. That's not what boxing, you know, fans are going to want to see. That's just the way it is. But also, we can't hate on Devin Haney because at the end of the day, he is a victim to a positive PED test, and that's just the way it is. Ostarine is a banned substance for a reason. And you know, whether or not Ryan Garcia took it intentionally or unintentionally, we're never going to know. That's the truth. You know, I'm going to be real with you guys because I keep it real. We're never going to know. Ryan's the only one. There's a good chance Ryan's dad doesn't even know what, you know, Ryan Garcia actually did. So it's all on Ryan Garcia's conscience. I feel like, you know, there's karma no matter what. And there's good karma, there's bad karma. So if Ryan Garcia did it intentionally, you know, he deserves it. You know, if not, he's going to come back and have a great career, this and that. But, you know, only time will tell. I think when Ryan Garcia comes back to the sport, he has such a big following to the point where it's like, he's going to be back like he never left. Like 1 year, let's be real. That's not the way boxing's supposed to be, but these fighters that are superstars making 30, 40, 50 million dollars a fight, they're not fighting 2 or 3 times a year anyways. You know, Ryan Garcia probably would have fought once anyway. So he's getting punished for a PED test, you know, by only losing, you know, 1 fight. So like at the end of the day, he'll be back. Like it's not really a matter of that. But let me know, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? I want to get some of your guys' thoughts. Do you guys think that Devin Haney can win a rematch against Ryan Garcia? Because I personally think he can win a rematch, but it's just like there are a lot of things that I think Devin still needs to tighten up. You know, as much as PEDs, you know, absolute no. You know, he shouldn't be taking PEDs. A positive test indicates that it was in Ryan Garcia's system. But also, Devin has to tighten up. There's no reason that you should be getting hit with that, the shot. If you're saying you're calling Ryan Garcia a one-trick pony, there's no reason you should be getting hit with that one trick if it's that easily. You know, Ryan was called a C-level fighter by Devin, and Devin should have been a little bit more precise. Ryan Garcia might be a C-level boxer, but he is an A-plus fighter. That kid can fight. Like, he knows how to fight. He knows how to throw down. He might not be the best person with the best utilization of the jab. He might not be very high IQ, but he can land a shot. And we saw what that did to one of the best and most premier boxers in Devin. So we're going to have to see them run it back. In my opinion, I need to see that fight ran back. No matter what, as much as I like Devin, even if he goes on to beat guys like Shakur, even if he goes on to beat a guy like Tank, I still need to see that rematch, in my opinion. I need to see a rematch from Devin Haney, and he has to get it back in blood. If that's me, I'm getting that dude back. But like ultimately, I understand that Devin's a little bit traumatized right now. You guys got to remember, Devin has never hit the canvas. You know, people like to bring up the Tank sparring, still never hit the canvas. Against Ryan, he got cracked with that left hook in the first round, and it was like he had never felt anything like that before, and obviously facing adversity for the first time in his career. So what more can you expect from Devin Haney? You know, honestly, if we're talking about just pure toughness, Devin exceeded my expectations. He got up multiple times when I thought that fight was over. It should have been stopped at multiple points in that of the fight, in my opinion. But, you know, Devin still stayed there, stayed hungry, stayed motivated. I'm not going to say he stayed strong because obviously he got cracked, and that was the first time we really saw Devin like out of it. But to continue to get up continuously, he does deserve a level of respect. But at the same time, he still got cracked with that left hook, Austrian or not. He shouldn't be landing that shot on you. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you're too good to be getting hit with the one trick that you're calling Ryan Garcia a one-trick pony. Then you shouldn't be getting hit with that shot. That's just the way I think. But maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I do like Ryan Garcia. I'm a fan of his, but I still think I need to see Devin tighten things up a little bit. I think he should go fight his mandatory, fight Sander Martin, and then get back into the mix like he talked about, but not against the big puncher, not right away. He's not ready. I don't think he's ready. And I like Devin. I'm a Devin Haney fan as well, but no, not against the puncher yet. Not against the big puncher. You got cracked for the first time. You need time to recover. Get your confidence against a guy who's still a credible boxer, but doesn't pose that same threat that a guy like Tank poses, a guy like Tio poses, and a guy like Ryan Garcia. There's no reason that Devin should be hopping back into a fight with a big puncher. I don't like the Tio fight right off the bat. I don't like the Tank fight right off the bat. Definitely don't like the Ryan Garcia rematch as his first fight back. 2 years. He's saying that 2 years from now he's going to make that fight happen with Ryan Garcia, the rematch. But it's risky. It's risky for sure. But I like both fighters. I like Devin and Ryan. It's going to suck to have Ryan Garcia out of the sport for 1 year, but ultimately maybe he wouldn't have even fought this year. We don't even know. This kid's so unpredictable. We don't know whether or not he would even be fighting for a year, this and that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Ryan Garcia. But I wanted to hop on live and talk a little bit with you guys about the whole situation because it is very interesting. I will say that no matter what happens, these guys are both very successful people. It's all about how you recover from that big shot. Devin's still going to be a great boxer. It's more of his mental that I'm more concerned about than anything else. I know he's still going to be a great boxer. It's just he got cracked really bad from Ryan Garcia. He got hurt, so he shouldn't fight a boxer in my opinion. Coming straight off that beating that he took from Ryan. And Ryan, he's gonna have to take some time off. I don't know what fighters are still going to be at, around 47, because obviously Ryan Garcia can't make 40, or at least that's what he's saying. So he's going to have to fight at 47 by that time. Will we have Shakur at 40, and will we have Tank at 40? Maybe we could get them to come up against Ryan. I don't know, man. Like, I think that Ryan, he has to figure it out, because I think honestly there's still a lot of big fights for Ryan to be in. It's more so, can he make them happen? And he's continued to. He has a track record of making big fights happen, but can he make fights like Teofimo Lopez happen? Can he make fights like, who knows, maybe that Errol Spence Jr. fight is crazy. A lot of people want to see Ryan Garcia and Earl go at it because they've had a little bit of beef back and forth. Ryan Garcia going at Caleb Plant, saying he did this and this with Caleb Plant's wife, crossing the line. I think Caleb wouldn't mind getting in the ring with Ryan. So if they make that fight happen, Caleb's a big 68-pounder, and at the same time, Ryan Garcia, he wants all the smoke from everybody. He doesn't care about whose feelings he's hurting. But let me know, do you guys think that the year suspension with Ryan Garcia was fair? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'm curious to see your guys' thoughts and opinions, but I'd say 1 year is pretty valid. I was shocked, actually. I thought they were going to do the standard 6 to 7 months of a ban for Ryan Garcia, but they gave him a not so bad out. They gave him 1 year. 1 year is like, it's only one fight that Ryan Garcia would have realistically fought in a year, so I'm not that mad at it. I think it's not that bad. It's not that bad of a repercussion if you ask me, because Ryan Garcia, he's going to find stuff to do. I'm sure he's probably still going to be around in terms of, like, he's going to show his face at all these boxing events, so I'm curious to see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I don't know. I like Ryan Garcia. I think he's entertaining, but yeah, I'm going to put a poll. Is Ryan Garcia's suspension fair? Let's see what you guys think. Yes or no? But I mean, we'll see what happens. I feel like it's a good, verdict. I feel like Ryan Garcia should be taught that, PEDs are not allowed, but ultimately, you can't get away with just an overturned loss. It can't just be a no contest. You have unfinished business with Ryan Garcia, and that's just facts. That's just facts. That's the way it is. I think Ryan Garcia, as big of a star as he is, he's going to have to get that rematch, and I think he's open to it. He said, Devin, I'll do it again. So if that's the case, it should be no problem making a rematch fight happen with Ryan Garcia and Devin. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any comments or concerns. King Sakuna is saying Ryan Garcia doesn't need a rematch. Why do you say that? Why do you think that, King Sakuna? I'm just curious. You don't think he needs a rematch after popping positive for Osterine? Let me know in the comments. Devin got destroyed. We all saw it. Yeah, I think that's also something for me is like I'm trying not to stay biased because obviously King Sakuna is saying what rematch? He dropped him 5 times. Yeah, but obviously, you know how boxing is. They're gonna make that rematch happen because they're gonna sell a lot based on the narrative of Ryan Garcia testing positive for Osterine. So, testing positive is testing positive. There is an obvious bias for the rematch because Devin was a hype job. Yeah, I guess a lot of people thought that Devin Haney, myself included, I honestly thought that Devin was going to be able to outbox Ryan and stay away from that left hook, but he got cracked with it. So yeah, I would agree that if I think that, my prediction was wrong, obviously there were a lot of other people really fighting for Devin. That's the only reason anyone wants a rematch. Ryan made him look stupid. I mean, yeah, it was a tough watch. And honestly, like, I used to have a different perspective on seeing guys like lose, but I've interviewed Devin, I've interviewed Ryan, so I honestly didn't really want to see either guy like really take a beating. I just wanted to see a good fight, but to see Devin like really getting beat like that, it kind of sucked. Like that was a big beating that Devin took. That's why I'm curious to see what's going to happen to him. More so psychologically because he really did take a beating. But King Sakuna, I will agree with you that was a little bit of an embarrassing moment for Devin. I think that's why he's so like he really wants that victory, that he wants that O back, and he got it back by the New York Athletic Commission. But is it going to be the same? If he pulls off a win, and Ryan Garcia is clean and Devin wins a rematch, are people going to give him credit, or are they going to say, you got to do it another time because we still remember the first fight? So I don't know. Why would Ryan Garcia rematch a guy who complains that much when he loses? Money talks, King Sakuna. I think that, there's going to be like $30-40 million for each fighter when Ryan Garcia comes back from this suspension. The money's going to be on the table for Devin Haney as well. And I think it's too much money to walk away from. I think Devin just needs time to recover. He's still like getting himself together, trying to face that trauma. That's trauma. When Devin, imagine all these years you're a boxer, you're riding a bike and you've learned to ride a bike. It's been 5 years, you've never fallen off, and for the first time you fall off a big hill because you thought you were so great, and now you don't know how to deal with it. That's what Devin is dealing with. That's what Devin's dealing with. And let's be real, like we can all say that, if I was Devin, I would want that rematch immediately. You can't say that because you didn't take the beating from Ryan Garcia. Like, we can't say that. I would agree. I think Devin has to do it in the ring to get the respect of the world, specifically boxing fans, because boxing fans, they're not going to let you walk away with a overturned decision. They're not going to let a no contest just slip by. They want to see you go at Ryan Garcia in the ring. And I understand that, but still taking a beating and, going through all that is stuff that, we can't understand. We don't know what it's like to be in Devin's shoes, King Sakuna says, nah, Devin needs to go get slept by Tiafimo now. Nah, I don't think that's a horrible fight for Devin, because I've been saying in my videos that I think Devin should stay away from punchers, at least for the first fight. Go fight his mandatory Sandor Martin, because if you guys don't know, Sandor Martin fought Mikey Garcia, beat Mikey Garcia, gave Teofimo Lopez a hard time. But, it's a credible opponent, but at the same time doesn't pose the same power threat that a guy like Tank would, a guy like, Tio would, that King Sakuna is saying. I don't like that fight for Devin just yet. I think down the line we get Devin and Tio. That's a good fight. King Sakuna saying Devin's career is over. Damn, I don't know about that. I think Devin can come back. And a part of me, I see these guys in person. So at the same time, I don't want to say anything that's going to get me like kicked out the gym when I'm trying to get an interview or something like that. But yeah, I genuinely, I'm not even saying this. I think that Devin can come back and beat a lot of top guys. I think he could even beat Shakur, but it's tough. It's tough. There is no coming back. You don't even want to see him fight tough. It's hard because you can't just jump. That's not how it should be. He really suffered his first loss. He basically got knocked out against Ryan Garcia. I don't think any fighter, when taking a beating like that, should go straight to another mega fight. You know what I mean? Like when you genuinely take damage, and you could talk about, Ryan Garcia, he fought Tank and then eventually fought Devin, but he had a fight in between, right? So I think I'm trying to give Devin that same prerogative to the point where it's like, let him get back fight. Let's see where he's at. And then maybe depending on that, we can give him TO next after that. But I don't like a big fight for Devin just yet. I don't even think Devin should be fighting at 40 anymore. I think he should be fighting at 47. And my main concern about Devin fighting at 47 is the fact that he doesn't really hit hard at 40, but maybe that's because he's having a hard time making the weight and he just feels weak at 40 now. But I still think, move to a weight where you're comfortable. King Sakuna saying, bro, Ryan was the first prime and same age fighter. It's true. I also said that. I'm not saying that you're wrong. You're definitely not wrong when you say that. But a positive test is a positive test, man. Like in boxing, that's a no. You can't be testing positive for PEDs. That's just the way it is. As much as I like Ryan too, I think it sucks that he's getting suspended for a year, but you can't have that. You can't have that. I'm just being real. I'm being real with you guys. I can't just get behind Ryan Garcia because I know he's exciting. I'm not doubting that. I think he's fun to watch. It's gonna suck not having him for a year because he makes big fights happen, but. we need less Devin Haney in boxing. Why do you think that? Why do you think we need less Devin? You mean like those undefeated like prospects? Yeah, Ryan definitely does make the big fights happen. He deserves. I think that's where I think that's why it's so hard for a lot of boxing fans to accept the suspension that Ryan Garcia is receiving and the fact that they can't understand that Ryan Garcia did PEDs. And one of the reasons I can't understand that Ryan Garcia did PEDs is because if he tested against Tank clean, if he tested against Oscar Duarte clean, tested positive for a PED against Devin, like if he's gonna take it, wouldn't it be Tank? I'm just saying. I'm just speaking out of instinct here, but wouldn't you use it against Tank or Duarte? These guys are bigger punchers, so I don't know. Ryan tested clean against Haney. I don't know about that. He only tested positive the day of the fight. Yeah, he tested positive for Oscar the day of the fight. So it can't be in your system like at any point. So Ryan's gonna have to deal with that obviously, but it is what it is. Yeah, Ryan Garcia passed like a few weeks before the fight, like 2 weeks before the fight. He just didn't pass the day of, right? But what are you going to do? I feel like a positive test is a positive test, but who knows? Maybe he took it unintentionally. It's very possible. They rigged him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not seeing them in person. Ryan Garcia wasn't in shape. So, yeah, you could say that it's weird that he would take a PED and not be in shape. Yeah, you could see that. You could say that, but ultimately in the fight, he definitely looked strong and Devin took a beating. So people are obviously, if there's a positive test comes out, people are going to jump on it and say, no wonder. But, Devin was still getting hit with the shot. I will agree with you in that. They're trying to save face from Devin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Devin is like supposed to be protected, but I think he has to fix a lot of things in his game still. But bro, Devin had 2 losses scrubbed from his resume. Are you talking about that Tijuana scandal that they were bringing up. I don't even know if that's true. Like that ended up being true, but yeah, that's what they say. That's what a lot of people are saying, that Devin Haney had a loss that he had swept under the rug. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see. You're saying it is true. I don't know, man. I think Devin's a good fighter. Who do you have? King Sakuna. I want to know who you have, Shakur or Devin. Who wins that fight at 40? But I think it's a good fight. I think Shakur should be an opponent for Devin before Tio. So I don't know. Shakur easy, dang, easy, huh? I don't know. I agree. Shakur definitely beats Devin. I just think like it's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because Devin landed a good left hook on Ryan. Do you guys remember that? I know I'm not saying Devin beats Ryan in a rematch. I don't know. I might have to favor Ryan, but do you guys remember? I think it was in the third round. Devin cracked Ryan with a left hook. I was like, Devin got outboxed by Blair Cobbs. Oh, did you see the sparring? Did you see the sparring of Ryan just cooking Blair Cobbs? That was crazy. Shout out Alexis Vargas. Yeah, cracked. Watch Ryan Garcia. He got cracked by Devin, and he ate the punch. Don't get me wrong, but he got cracked. And Ryan Garcia even said it in the post-fight interview. He's like, he cracked me with the left hook, and I guess he does have some power. And he said Devin even hits harder than Tank, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He got his name from posting edited sparring on YouTube. Dang, a lot of people don't really like Devin out here, and yeah, I understand it. But Devin's a good dude. His pops is a nice guy too. Like I was asking them questions, they were cool. So I have nothing but respect for Devin. But a light tap. Alexis Vargas is saying it was a light tap. Okay. If you think it was a light tap, I respect your opinion. Watch out. I'm not doing business with the Haneys. I'm not a CEO, but I do, get to go to the fights. I get to interview these guys, and they're all pretty cool. Like Devin was cool. His father was cool. I was joking around with Devin Haney's dad, before the Ryan Garcia fight, and saying, where's Tio at? Are we trying to set up this Teofimo Lopez fight, assuming that Devin beats Ryan Garcia? And he was saying, Tio's nowhere to be found. Where is Tio? We're in New York, but where is Tio at? So. I think Bill Haney's a cool dude. Alexis Vargas said, I just happen to be Devin's number one. Hey, bro, at least you admit it. There are a lot of people that don't like Devin Haney. I think like it's just weird to see for the first time, and I understand it because Ryan's a exciting fighter to watch, and I'm a fan of Ryan Garcia the same way I'm a fan of Devin. But I understand Ryan Garcia has so many fans, and that's why people like him because he's entertaining. So I think when people gravitate towards him, and even when he does something wrong, people are still going to stick by him. I guess that's just how fans are. That's what it causes when Ryan Garcia has big fans. I can't blame you because a lot of people like Ryan. Ryan earned his spot. Yeah, I never agreed. I never agreed with people when they would say stuff like Ryan Garcia is a TikToker. He's not a real boxer. He's more of a YouTuber. I never agreed with that because Ryan Garcia is like a 16-time national champion in the amateurs. He's not. He could have gone to the Olympics, honestly. Ryan could have gone to the Olympics. A lot of people don't know that, but he chose to go pro. He actually went pro a little bit after Devin Haney. So these guys have known each other for a long time. Devin bought his spot. I mean, Devin was trained by Floyd, Roger Mayweather. He was surrounded by greatness from a young age. So it's tough for me to say that he bought his spot because Floyd Mayweather, better than anybody else in the sport of boxing, has a good eye for talent. And I don't think that he would just let Devin in like that and have a relationship with him, be a mentor to Devin if he thought he didn't have anything good, But I understand where you're coming from. I understand the frustration with everything going on with Devin, and I feel like everyone's gonna say he got exposed. He definitely has holes in his game that a lot of punchers are now going to be able to pick apart. But there's going to be a level of confidence for any guy that faces Devin now because they all know that they saw him get hurt in the ring. So going into that fight, I feel like people are going to be more confident than they've ever been, going against a guy like Devin. Um, what fighters has Floyd's eye? Carmel Mountain, Tank. I mean, Tank is more Adrian Broner, but Carmel Mountain, Jalil Hackett. He's had a lot of guys. Jay Leon Love when he was still decent. He's had some solid guys. Floyd's had some solid guys. AB, Adrian Broner. Carmel just got discovered last week. Nah, Carmel's been Google Carmel Moulton in Mayweather's gym. He's been there since he was a kid, bro. He's good too. I've been watching all his fights. I've seen a lot of footage of him. He's gonna be good. He's gonna be real good. It's funny that he looks just like Tank. Like that's crazy to me. Like where do they keep finding these guys that just like they're freaking huge? They're huge and they can crack. Shout out Alexis Vargas saying, or at least I lost some respect for Devin. He should have taken the loss and gone for the rematch to try and prove himself again because he wasn't ready, in my opinion, because of Ryan's mind games. I think that's not talked about enough. You know, Ryan Garcia's mental warfare, really getting it in Devin's head. Everything at the press conference, like you guys don't understand. I was at the press conference. I was watching in the back. I was just observing. I just wanted to see it because it was just cool. I wasn't even recording for my channel or anything. I genuinely just wanted to watch Ryan Garcia, get on the mic and talk. And he was like, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus." And then he started talking crazy. He started cursing and stuff like that. And the whole room, like you guys got to remember, the whole room was just watching Ryan Garcia and like the boxers. All the boxers were like, you don't see that on the screen, but like all the people, all the big shots were in the building, and they were just like, what is this kid? Like, this kid's got to be on drugs. Like, people were not finding it amusing. When it's posted on the internet and there's all these comments and views, it's different. When you're there and you're seeing Ryan Garcia talk like this, you're like, I thought it was crazy, but ultimately, Ryan Garcia seemed like he was out of his mind. It was insane. King Sakuna saying because they thought he was going to lose. Yeah, everybody thought that Ryan Garcia was going to lose. I'll admit, I didn't think Ryan was going to freaking win that fight. He freaking cracked him in the first round. I was like, oh my! I wish I had my reaction to the fight. I was sitting right over there. I was sitting watching it, and I jumped. I was like, holy crap! Devin really just did that. But yeah, I got King Sakuna and Alexis. You guys seem to have the same view on Devin. It was crazy, bro. Like, I didn't even care that I was wrong. I was like, damn, Ryan Garcia really just fucking did that. Like, that's insane. But then obviously the Osterine, like everybody started turning on Ryan and this and that. And I never turned on Ryan. I was just saying that, a positive test is a positive test. So like, it doesn't matter what I say. Whatever the New York Commission rules, because it was a positive test, is what's gonna happen to Ryan Garcia. He's gonna have to deal with the suspension. It's not like what I say doesn't matter. I'm just here talking about like how surprised I was that Ryan Garcia was even was able to do that. In my opinion, looking at it, I was like, Devin shouldn't even be touched at all by that left hook. He should be clean in that fight. But he couldn't negate the left hook. Like, even watching it now, I watched the highlights again, rewatched that fight, and I was like, how is he getting hit with it continuously? There was no like urgency for Devin. Usually when fighters have a big left hook, when you're fighting a guy orthodox, you're staying completely away from his entire left side. You should be circling off to his right. I'd rather run into his right hand than deal with the left hook, because that's the shot that was buzzing him every single time. But that's the thing. I don't know. I think Devin is a great fighter, but he shouldn't. There's no reason that Ryan should be landing that left hook as easily as he did. So Devin definitely has some sharpening up to do in the ring, and I think he knows that. That's a big reason why he's in no rush to take the rematch. Because let's say Ryan Garcia takes a rematch and Devin takes the rematch, they fight, and the same thing happens, and Ryan Garcia is clean. You know how bad that looks for Devin? He's never going to hear the end of it. That's why in the ESPN interview, as soon as the news came out about the positive PED test with Osterine, Devin was saying, I'm not really interested in the rematch. Because, yeah, why would you be interested? Because you don't know. The same thing could happen in a rematch, and then obviously it's going to be even worse. So that's something that Devin has to decide. He has to be very strategic in whether or not he takes the rematch. I think obviously as a fan, I want to see the rematch, but Devin, he has people in his ear. He has his dad, advisors in his ear telling him, maybe not. Just go in other directions. Would you rather fight a guy in Tank? He's not going to cheat. I don't think Tank's going to cheat, but you're going to make a lot of money there too. So avoid this getting clowned by Ryan Garcia in a rematch. I understand that perspective, but me personally, I'd like to see it. King Sakuna saying Victor Conti did a TMZ interview saying Austrian was a oral drug and Ryan should be careful because someone could have spiked him. I didn't see that. I saw a video of Victor Conti talking about how Austrian can be in your system a long time ago, but when you start to shed weight and cut weight the same way that Ryan Garcia had to do within a little amount of time, try to make that weight to 140. When you cut weight like that, sometimes it can produce little traces of Austrian. And if that's the case, Victor Conti kind of made a case for Ryan Garcia. But, we don't know. We don't know. There isn't a rematch. Devin's a little B. They'll talk around it. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's too much money still in the rematch. But if you don't think it's going to happen, maybe not. Who knows? Alexa saying not only that ostrich drug is mostly used to cut weight and even for asthma, which I'm pretty sure Ryan has, I think, but I still doubt he would use it properly since he somewhat knew the matchup. Yeah. King Sakuna, it's the same interview. It's the TMZ interview. Yeah. Okay. Then we watch the same thing. I watched it a while ago though, so I just remember that little. I didn't even watch the whole thing. I was getting bored listening to it. To be honest, that dude's so boring. Since they did know each other in the amateurs, there was money in the. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I'm also trying to use my own instincts. Like I like the facts, but I also try to use my own instincts. Why would you be clean against Tank and Oscar Duarte, who are known punchers, but then you use a PD for Devin? Like it does. It's hard to freaking be in the middle because it's sometimes it's just weird. And Ryan had a hell of a fight, but I don't know. There's no way to tell how much of it was impacted by Austrian, if at all. So like that's the weird thing about this, boxing. People always say that boxing never lies. Boxing has their ways to finesse people and make things look one way, but it really doesn't go that way. You know what I mean? Like it's not always an honest sport. So who do you guys got, Lomachenko or Tank? I need to hop off in like a little bit of time, but I still got a little bit of time to talk some boxing with you guys. I wanted to hop on the live real quick because I haven't gone live in a minute. King Sakuna says Tank at this point. Yeah, I got Tank. Yeah, I also got Tank. But the thing is, I'm curious to see. You know how if you guys watch that Teofimo Lopez and Lomachenko fight, you guys know Teo bagged early rounds. He had a better performance than Devin did against Lomachenko, but towards the end of that fight, Lomachenko has the tendency to kind of get dirty, do whatever it takes to get the W. And I'm curious if he does that against Tank, if he can like headbutt Tank. I'm not saying go in there and headbutt Tank, but it's not uncommon for Lomachenko to cause a clash of heads. So if he does that, like, I don't know. And we see Tank cut for the first time. Who even knows what could happen? That could be a crazy fight. So for me, I favor Tank like you guys. But I think it could be a really close fight. I think it could be a really close fight because one thing that Lomachenko has is experience that Tank has never gone. Tank has never gone up against someone who has Lomachenko's experience, has his skills, has the footwork and angles. But if Lomachenko is as offensive as he typically is, I see him running into something from Tank. I think Tank he's so good with the timing now, and everybody's gonna give Tank no credit for beating Lomachenko. I already know it. I know how it's going to go. Even if he stops him, they're all going to say Lomachenko was old already. But for me, I give him respect too as well because if that fight went down years ago, Tank's not the same Tank that he is now. So it's just like it could never be perfect for either fighter. One fighter is not going to be at their best. And in this case, when the fight is probably going down, Lomachenko is not going to be at his best. Alexis is saying, I feel like Loma could have got it done back then in his prime. Yeah, was a menace. His ankles were too good. Yep, speed, power, youth, but not anymore. Too old. Yes, he still has experience. Yeah, yeah. I also agree. Like if Loma could win, but if it goes to the scorecards, like Lomachenko has talked about this being his last fight. The fight against Kambosos, he said he didn't even want to do. He did it for his father and in honor of his father. And so if you're thinking about retirement and you're going up against Tank, how the hell am I supposed to pick you to beat him? I think you need everything in the kitchen sink to beat a guy like Tank. The only guy that I think can beat Tank, honestly, is Tio. I think Tio puts up the best fight because he's the only one that has freaking power, bro. He's the only one that's a counterpuncher as well. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know if Tio can beat Tank. I think he gives him the best fight though. At their ages, both young, relatively still in their primes. It depends on the version of Tiafimo that we would get, but I would like Tio. Shout out Broke Land Bala saying Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, I feel that's also up there for me. I think it's Lomachenko, it's Tio, and obviously Shakur. Shakur is real good. Shakur is a great fighter. He's Newark. I'm from Jersey, so I like to see Shakur fight. I'm going to be at his fight July 6th against Artem. That's going to be a good fight as well. I'm excited. Tio, I like Tio. Terrell V, shout out to you. Tio can't beat Tank. Tio is a good fighter, but Tio fight on emotions too much. Yeah, that's true. That's why I said it depends on the version of Tio that we get. If we get a locked-in version of Tio, the one that fought Josh Taylor, the one that fought Loma, I think we might have a chance here. That intrigues me a little bit. But a Tio that fought Kambosos, a Tio that fought I won't even say Jermaine Ortiz because Jermaine Ortiz kind of ran a little bit. But I agree with you. I'm with you. It's all about Tio's mental state because I've interviewed Tio before against Sandor Martin is what I meant to say. He didn't have. If we get that version of Tio, then it's not a good fight. But I interviewed Tio before his fight with Sandor Martin, and he seemed very confident, but he went out there and had a poor performance. But it's all about his mindset. He just has to stay calm and do his best work. He has to forget about, he was going through a divorce at that time. He was going through a lot of issues outside of the sport of boxing. So I think Tio is definitely a threat to Tank, in my opinion. I think he's the only one that really has the power to maybe get some respect. So that's something that can cause some issues because a lot of people. I knew Frank Martin was good. I knew that he's a solid fighter, but he's not on that elite level. There's levels, and there's like Lomachenko, and Shakur's a little bit above that, and Tank is in that same area. I have Tank over everybody, to be honest. But Frank Martin's a good win. I need Tank to be fighting that elite of the elite. We can't just have guys pop out of nowhere. And not to say that Frank Martin hasn't popped out of nowhere, but we also knew that he started late in the sport, really got famous for almost fighting Shakur Stevenson, and they were trying to hype him up in that scenario. But then Shakur obviously talked about how Frank Martin pulled out of that fight, and then Tank took it from there and then had that as his comeback fight. And for Tank to do that, off a year layoff, Tank saying that he felt rusty and stopping Frank Martin in the 8th round was very impressive to me. So shout out to Tank doing his thing. I was actually in Portugal when Tank fought, so it was freaking 4 a.m. But you best believe I set my alarm to watch that fight. I actually didn't watch the Benavidez fight because I know I kind of knew that fight was going to be boring. I'm not going to lie. I knew David was in for a tough night because for the first time he was fighting somebody that was bigger than him. So I was like, let me just set this alarm precisely so that, I just wake up for the main event. And that's the way it all started for me. I watched it's always exciting, watching Tank fight. There's nobody for me personally. Shout out your favorite fighters in the comments. Shout out to Brokeland Bala for subscribing. I appreciate you. But let me know in the comments who you guys have as your most exciting fighter. I mean, for me personally, I got Tank. Tank is always exciting. I like watching Crawford fight, but there's something gets me hype about watching Tank fight. It's just like you don't know what you're gonna get. Straight up. Alexis Vargas says I'm also Benavidez's #1 hater. Wow, that's crazy. How do you hate David Benavidez? He's a cool dude. You must be a big Canelo. You must get a big. You must be a big Canelo fan. It was cool, but it's getting repetitive. What was cool? What do you think about Crawford versus Madrimov? I think Madrimov's a good fighter. I know some people that have sparred him, but I don't think he beats Bud though. I think I like the fight. I'll be there. I'll be there at that fight and at the weigh-ins and all that. That's in Cali, so I'll have to make the trip. But that's a good fight. That's a good fight. But I think Crawford probably stops him. You think Crawford gets exposed? Huh? Maybe I'll pay closer attention. Maybe I got to do more research then. I've heard that he's a good fighter. You know, all of these fighters are tough, but I don't know who beats Crawford right now. I think the only one that can beat Crawford is Boots. I don't even know if Canelo can beat Crawford. You know, straight up, I think Crawford might be too fast for Canelo. Who do you guys got, Canelo or Crawford? Everybody always disagrees. Like I get hate on my comments when I post that I think Crawford might beat Canelo. That's just me. You see Madrimov hurting him. Hey, we have seen Terrence Crawford hurt before, but he has so many tools. That's the only thing. You know, when I've been off on my fights recently. I've been for the big fights at least. I picked Devin. I picked Spence. But I think I'm just biased because I was so exposed to Spence more so than I was to, you know, the top rank in ESPN. I guess was what it was. But I don't know. Crawford only looks good because he fights subpar competition. I mean, don't do my guy Sean Porter like that. Sean Porter is my guy. But Sean Porter is a good fighter, and at the same time, Spence is a good fighter. He's fought some good opposition, but he definitely doesn't have like I think a lot of us tend to compare Bud Crawford to guys like Floyd and Manny. And the thing is, like, you're only as good as the opposition that's available. You know, other than that, we can't say, you know, Terrence Crawford would beat guys like Juan Manuel Marquez. He would beat guys like Tim Bradley, like this and that. You know, I think he would, but we're never going to get to see those fights. We can only say that he's beaten Spence. We can only say that he's beaten Sean Porter, only beaten Kell Brook, David Avanesian. You know what I mean? Sean Porter was saying he was thinking about retirement and training camp for Bud. Yeah, he was actually thinking about retiring. Actually, no, Sean. I'm going to get Sean. I promise this to you guys. I'm going to get Sean Porter on another episode. I've done a few podcast episodes with him. I'll get him back on this channel for an interview. But he honestly told me that he was already considering retirement, you know, when he scheduled the Spence fight. So that's some inside scoop for you guys. He was talking to me about if he had beaten Spence, he might have retired then too. But he also took the Bud fight because obviously Bud was the other name at welterweight. But it seemed a little bit not feasible because going to you know, across the street, all that across the street talk that was a thing at the time. You know, going from PBC to ESPN and crossing platforms was a little bit hard, but shout out to Sean Porter. You made that happen. So, yeah, Crawford has no defense. I wouldn't say he has no defense. He doesn't have the best defense, but he's one of those fighters. He's like Tank. Like, he'll take a shot to give a shot, to get a shot off. So I don't know. I think there are a lot of good fights, but Mean Machine was piecing him up. Yeah, but what the end though, bro? Like, we can't. As good as Mean Machine was doing, he was having a lot of success. But what happened at the end? You know, Crawford gets angry. Canelo too big for Crawford. He got so much experience and weapons to use against Bud, and if he hits him with normal power punches, Bud might not last. Yeah, that's obviously a big concern. It's more so, can Terrence Crawford take his best punches? The same thing about, you know, Shakur. I think Shakur could beat Tank, but it's all about, can he handle Tank's best punch? Because I'm pretty sure within that 12-round duration, he's going to get cracked with something, and it's all about how he holds up. So Madrimov is better than Mean Machine. Yeah, but Terrence Crawford's a better fighter than he was years back, I think. But we'll see. It's going to be a good fight. I think that's like the first week of August, right? Because I know I'm flying to LA for that. But yeah, I believe it's the first week of August. You're saying Crawford just got older? He looked freaking good against Spence, man. He looked fat. Like the hand speed was there, the power was there, and honestly, the precision was there. That's more so, the precision and timing is always what I look for, and he still has it. King Sakuna saying he's not different, just looks good against subpar competition. Okay. We'll see. I feel like who you got, King Sakuna, who you got, Bud or Boots? Who wins that fight? Shout out to Broke Landbala 8-3. Yeah, that's when I wish Virgil Ortiz was fighting Tim Tszyu. Oh my God, that was the freaking fight, bro. That was the fight I was looking forward to the most. I always like watching Crawford fight. Don't get me wrong. I just think he wins that fight. But I was really looking forward to Tim Tszyu and Virgil Ortiz. Virgil was about to shock the world. Yeah, like Virgil was about to shock the world. I'm telling you guys. King Sakuna saying boots. Yeah, I don't know. That one's 50-50 for me. The only reason I might give like Crawford a little bit of an edge just because of experience, like going straight to a Crawford fight right now. Because he doesn't, if you think about it, there's not much of a test for Boots. Like there's no fighter to prepare Boots for Crawford. And the same way, obviously, there's no Boots. There's no fighter like Boots to fight that'll emulate Boots. Crawford can't fight someone to prepare for Boots. He's just gonna have to fight him. But he has fought Spence. Like he has fought a level of opposition that is elite. So Alexis Vargas saying that's why I don't think Bud beats Canelo. If he decides to trade with Canelo, he's gonna get hurt. Canelo hasn't been knocked down. He's got a monster chin, but Bud is gonna have to win on points. Yeah, but that's the thing. I think he could very easily have the better stamina. Canelo seems to gas out, and if Crawford can use every tool in the bag, I see him moving more, being a little bit more lateral side to side and making Canelo work and hunt for his food. And I think that could cause the frustration. And we see a little bit more of, Terrence Crawford with the hand speed and that countering ability. That's the stuff that I would depend on. I'm not saying that he would definitely beat Canelo. That's just, I kind of favor Crawford against Canelo personally. Brokeland Bella, Pitbull on upset alert. So you got Rayo. I've been hearing things about Rayo in the gym, bro. I've heard that Rayo is coming ready to go. So August 3rd, I'm really looking forward to that. We got it like about a month. Other than that, we got to fight tomorrow, the top ranked card. But we also have Shakur fighting, not too far from now. I think it's like 2 weeks. Bro, have just not seen Crawford fight. What do you mean? Spence had CTE. That's not. Oh, you're saying. Oh, damn! You really don't like Crawford. Damn, King Sakuna, you don't like Crawford. You don't like Haney. That's crazy. That's crazy. His defense is garbage. Oh my God. Brokeland Bala though. You got. So does that mean you got Rayo? I think that's a really good fight. You guys got to watch that one. That's going to be a good one. I think Crawford, but I'm not blind. Bud going to drop Nello. maybe. I like that fight. I like Bud and Canelo, honestly. I think that's a big fight for Canelo. Why? Like, my question to you guys is why wouldn't Canelo take the Crawford fight though? Like if he's not gonna fight the Benavidez fight, okay. But if you're not gonna fight Crawford, Canelo said that Crawford isn't worth it because they're not gonna give him credit. Is that legit or is that just fate? Is that fate? Broken Bala saying Bud gonna drop Canelo. Canelo will leave Crawford on a stretcher. It's all about the weight. If Crawford has a healthy, weight cut and Canelo has a tough one, who knows what could happen? That's the thing. A lot of people don't take into account the weight cut, and obviously, a fight is a fight, but that people don't talk about that enough. Crawford got Bambi-legged by 199-pound Gamboa. If you guys think about that, Crawford. The only times that Crawford has a difficult time is when the fighters have fast feet. You know what I mean? Like Spence doesn't have the quickest feet in the world. He doesn't have the ability to turn and adjust the way that, guys like Gamboa, when he fought Terrence Crawford, he was low-key, expected to win that fight by a decent amount of people. So, when people are able to move, have good footwork, I think that's when Crawford has a little bit of a difficult time. But if you don't have any footwork to make him work, if you have nothing special in the arsenal, especially when it comes to footwork or hand speed, like you're gonna get cooked by Crawford. That's just the way it is. But let's say if Crawford and Canelo are the same size, are you guys still rocking with Canelo? I think Crawford wins that fight. Crawford struggles against pressure fighters with power. But yeah, I was about to say Spence kind of tried to pressure him, and Spence kind of has power, but Spence is more so like break you down. I wouldn't say he has like one shot power. Mean Machine is a big. We knew he could crack. I've heard he hits the hardest. He even hurt Virgil Ortiz, so that's testament to how good Crawford is. Spence was damaged goods at that point. Yeah, it obviously wasn't. It didn't go down when we wanted it to, but we got the fight. So at least you could say that. We'll see. Madrimov is gonna expose him. Watch, damn, those are big words. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz though. He was talking about Madrimov, and I remember him saying he was saying that he hits hard, but Virgil thinks Crawford beats him. But we'll see. Turkey picked Madrimov, Turkey Al-Sheikh. Probably, yeah, maybe. We'll see. I feel like Turkey Al-Sheikh, he said he wants to make Crawford and Canelo. So, and I know he likes Canelo. So I feel like maybe he's trying to get Bud beat. Alexis Vargas saying Bud can't hurt Canelo. He's been hit harder by harder punchers and is also a really good counter puncher as well. He can handle the hand speed, which we saw with Munguia, but Canelo dismantled him over time. Yeah, I mean, is Jaime Munguia as talented as Terrence Crawford, though? I feel like it's always like this fighter has this fighter has this, but, it's never going to be leveled. I want to see it, no matter what. You guys might be right. Canelo might be too much, but that's the thing about boxing. Like, I want to see it. Give us the fight. Sign me up. Like, would you guys still like to see it? That's what I want to. That's what I want to know. Even though you guys feel like Canelo beats Crawford, this and that, that's valid. But like, do you guys still want to see the fight? I would rather see that than whoever the hell Canelo's thinking about fighting next, especially if it's not David. There's not too many more fighters I want to see with Canelo. I think how can you not want that fight? There's so much money in a David Benavidez and Canelo fight, but I think there's even more money in Terrence Crawford and Canelo. Canelo's last 10 opponents beat everyone on Crawford's resume. Yeah, but like I just think Canelo beating Crawford, that's a big name on your resume. That's probably the biggest W on your resume, period. Like that's the biggest W. If you beat Terrence Crawford, no matter what the weight class is, if you think people aren't going to give you credit because it's going to be so easy, just do it. Get the bag. Like, just get the bag. People are calling for it. So just make it happen, in my opinion. Jermell Charlo was an undisputed champ, and they say he was a cherry pick just because Canelo beat him. Yeah, that fight was that was a boring fight. I'm not gonna lie, but Canelo's Canelo. It's scary to go up against that dude. He's so freaking hits hard, bro. But I don't know. I personally think Crawford gives us a way more entertaining fight than Jermell Charlo gave us against Canelo. I think he wouldn't. He'd rather get stopped. Like, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? I think Terrence Crawford would rather get stopped than have the same performance as Bud. Dude doesn't know Bud about boxing. Is that about me or someone in the comments? I know a decent amount. I like to think I know a decent amount of boxing. I just think that I think it's a competitive fight no matter what. I don't see Canelo completely shutting out Crawford. You know what I mean? Like, if he gets stopped, he gets stopped. But I think Terrence Crawford is so competitive. He has such a killer instinct that he's not. He even tweeted at Jermell Charlo saying, like, I would never just fight to survive. I would literally take it to him. And I believe him. Terrence Crawford's different. He is one of those guys who has that strong mentality. So we'll see what happens. I think it's a good fight. I think that's a really good fight. It's entertaining. It's must-see TV at the end of the day. So I'd love to see it. One punch by Canelo breaks Crawford's bones. Hey, man, who knows? Maybe. But the thing is, if Crawford doesn't have to get down to 47, I think he might be big too as well. So seeing him at that weight would be crazy as well. Crawford is actually good, but only offensively. Yeah, but the talent that he has offensively is what makes me think, there could be some issues for Canelo in that fight. But I like that fight no matter what. Regardless, that's a really good fight. Canelo and Crawford, I'd love to see that. that only goes so far. Yeah, it's true. I'm not disagreeing with it. You're making very valid points. I just personally think that Crawford has a solid, chance. I think he has a better chance than a lot of people are giving him credit for. Um, when someone else has offense and defensive changes, we'll see. I'd be excited to see that. I'd love to see that fight happen. I want to see it actually go down soon, because before he retires, like there aren't that many people. He's a 147. He can't compete at 68. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm saying that like if he walks around, Crawford said he's willing to go up to 68. So it's not about Crawford being a 47 pounder. It's more so the fact that he's willing to do it. You know what I mean? If he had never mentioned it, but he's mentioned it multiple times, that's the reason I want to see it, because he's down to do it. He's down to make the fight happen. So yeah, that exactly. The thing is that Crawford cuts to 47. If he just stays at a decent weight and doesn't have to make the cut, you don't have to come in at 68. You can come in at 64 or 63. I think 63 is the minimum you can come in if you're fighting at a 168 title fight. But I think he can make it happen. People actually think he can move up and beat Canelo just because Canelo is great enough to do it. I mean, like we've seen a lot of fighters be multiple division world champs. Like I don't think it's insane, because Crawford's like, he's a pound for pound great. In my opinion, Crawford's ahead of Canelo on the pound for pound list right now. But Canelo's there too. Shout out Brokeland and Bala. NASFight Media. If you didn't know but about boxing, I would not have subscribed and liked the content. I appreciate you. Shout out to you. I don't know. All I will say to you guys, and I appreciate everybody that's hopped on the live. This one was fun. I'll be back, doing this more often. It's gonna be a good time, and I'll have more content for you guys. I have more videos coming out tonight, so stay tuned for all that stuff. But like, I just want to see it. I just want to see the big fights happen no matter what. I think that Ryan Garcia. That's a big reason why I'm not so happy about Ryan Garcia getting suspended for a year, because no matter what, he made big fights happen. He made the Tank fight happen. That was Ryan Garcia. He lost obviously, but made accepted all the stipulations with the contract, the catch weight, this and that. Lost the fight, goes on to beat Duarte, fights Devin, whatever happened. But shout out to Ryan Garcia for making big fights happen. Obviously, he's going to have to deal with the consequences of testing positive for Ostarine, but I still want to see him fight again. I still think that he's good for boxing, and I think he's got to chill out with some of the stuff he's saying for sure. I think anyone can agree on that, but definitely making big fights happen. So I appreciate him for that. Devin, shout out to Devin as well, because he's going to have the comeback of a lifetime, not only physically but mentally as well. So thank you guys. I'm going to hop off of this one, grab some dinner, and call it a night. But thank you guys for the constant support. Thank you guys for hopping on the live. This was a fun one. King Sakuna, shout out to you. I appreciate everything. I know you got Canelo beating Crawford. I think it's a great fight regardless. But thanks for hopping on the live. Shout out to everybody. This was a fun one. So have a good night. Have a good rest of your day. Shout out to you, everybody. East Coast, we out here. We're from Jersey. So just anybody that knows, you'll understand when I go live. It's because I'm in Jersey, and maybe you guys are on different time zones. So thank you guys for watching this one. It's been your boy Matt with NASFight Media. Continue to support me. We're only going up from here. But this was a fun live. I had a good time. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Let's subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.